Hello and welcome. I'm so excited
Hello.
today. I am with Luisa Ramos. She is a real estate agent, a very accomplished real estate agent. And we're going to talk about some of the problems and misconceptions people have around real estate. Hey, Luisa, how are you today?
I am good. How are you, Connie?
I am doing so good today. Thank you so much. I am really excited to talk about the things we have to talk about today because there's a lot of stuff I thought I knew about real estate, but I don't. And so you're going to clarify that. And before we came on here, we were talking about some of the misconceptions that people have around real estate agents and selling and stuff. So if it's okay with you, I just want to dive into the deep end and jump right in. Is that all right with you?
Sure, that's definitely all right with me. So the three misconceptions about being a real estate agent. Number one is that a lot of people just think that we just show houses, right? Because they watch HGTV or Selling Sunset. But clients often they don't know that we don't just open doors and we don't just set up appointments or look pretty, right? But the real work is really in the strategy, the behind the scenes, the pricing of the home to price it really well so that it actually sells, right? The positioning of your home in the marketing, how we do that as well, negotiating for you, marketing, the timelines of when everything needs to get done from the moment that we put it on the market to the moment that we start marketing it to the moment with the contracts to the moment of your open houses, everything. And then also the last thing, the most important thing is protecting their best interest through the contracts and the shifting markets, right? Because not everyone can read that 100 some pages of contracts and they don't know what the heck they're talking about unless, of course, they're lawyers. So that's one. Number two mistake is that they believe that we make easy money because, again, they watched HGTV or Selling Sunset, and then all of a sudden, they show a house, and then bam, you know, the next day they're in contract and they're in a transaction. It actually doesn't work that way. And then all of a sudden you hear them like, oh, we just sold like a $10 million home and we got paid $50,000, right? It actually more than that. And so from the outside, real estate can look glamorous, right? Because we look nice and we're always, um, put together, right? They think that big commission checks and flexible hours. Actually, it's not. So what's not seen is the hours of unpaid work. We work until not anymore, right? Marketing costs that's out of our own pocket because we haven't gotten paid. The months of nurturing a client because we're not sure when they're ready to buy or sell. We're not sure when a buyer it found that right home that they want, right? Or that forever home. So it can take months. It's not 2 days, it's not even a week. We wish it was a week, right? And the deals falls through at the last second. Like we can't control that. And the last thing is that assuming that any agents will just do, right? Like I'll talk to somebody, oh, they'll just be okay. Oh, they're gonna charge me 1%. Oh, that's totally fine. But in reality, right, you guys don't, what clients don't realize is that choosing the right agent to work for you really impacts the outcome of whether you guys are selling or whether you guys are buying, right? It's just not about hiring a license. Okay, it's about hiring experience, the skill, the local knowledge, and someone who's truly committed to their goals, whatever that is, whether they're selling their home or buying their first time, their first home. Hopefully that answers the question.
It totally does. It totally does. Thank you for that amazing information. I do want to go back though when you were talking about that it's just all about showing a house because I watch some of those shows on TV too, right? That
Yeah.
you see them and it's like, oh, and they have these nice cars and this fancy this and that, but it's not that. It's actually there's way more behind the scenes, and a lot of things that you do for free, right?
Mm-hmm.
How
Yes.
many how many hours about do you put in as a real estate agent
Oh my
that
gosh. So
before you sell a house? Because
okay.
people do think you just list it and boom, it's sold, and you move on to the next one. What does that look like? Can you paint that picture for us a little bit?
So let's say an average, right? So if unfortunately there are clients that's not going to listen to us, right, in regards to like what to do with their home. So by the time that we choose the home, we need to prep it, we need to price it correctly, right? And then again, just like I said, like the whole timelines and and everything, just to make your house pop in the market. So in an average, and then of course marketing, like a lot of marketing that we do cold calling, we do door knocking. We don't just do social media, we do a lot of legwork. So we're not just in our office and like, okay, cool, like I have a listing and I'm good to go. So in an average for one home, depending on where it is and what it looks like, and of course, when the clients really listen to us, I want to say about 50 hours in a week. And that's like unpaid, because we do, again, legwork. We look for buyers for you, we door knock for you, we talk to other agents for you. So yeah, so about 50. If for me, for instance, I work 8 days, 25 hours a day. So it's about 50 hours. So there's no such thing as flexible hours in real estate.
Right, right. And that's important for people to know when they're considering selling or buying a house, and talking to an agent, which is what we're really wanting to talk about here, is how do they know they're in the right place for that? So when somebody is wanting to sell or buy a house, they need to know then, right, what's what. So how do you make the experience easier and more comfortable for the buyer or seller, that people should maybe be asking
Well,
when they are interviewing an agent? Because it is about interviewing it, because
yeah,
every agent will go, sure, I'll sell you a house, but
yeah.
are they the right person?
So the number one thing that I will probably tell the consumers is to ask, is the number one thing is that, do you know the contract? Right? Because most agents, so I'm also a real estate coach as well, and I deal with seasoned agents and I see the contracts and I'm like, what is this? Right? So that will probably the number one thing to ask is like, how well do you know the contracts? How well do you know the contracts, so that my transaction will be seamlessly, right? Because purchasing a home is a huge investment, right? Especially for a first time home buyer. And then same thing with a seller, right? Like, if especially if they're retirees and they're now selling their precious investment that they've been there for 50 plus years, it's like, how are you going to take care of me? How are you going to make sure that this is going to be seamless for me? Because it's already going to be pressures, or it's going to be a lot of what do you call it, stress as well. So you need to hire and ask an agent that make sure that they know the contract and how the whole timelines goes, and make sure that they know everything about the whole contingencies and the disclosures, and to be able to protect you, right, and your investment as well. And then if you are, whether it's a buyer or a seller, again, just ask, like, how well do you know the market? How well do you know what's going on in the market, especially if you're hiring someone who's local? Because they don't really have to be a local agent for you to hire them, but they just need to know the market and everything that they need to do in order for them to be able to sell your home, in a time that you want them to sell it, or in the time that you want to be in that first home.
So it's really an interview process
It
for
is.
the seller buyer, not for the agent.
It is. Well, we also do an interview as well, because we want to know exactly where you are in your life and why are you selling? What is the motivation? What is the purpose of this, right? Because one of the things that we do too as well is that we don't just sell homes. We solve problems. And if you have a problem to solve, whether it's, oh my gosh, Louisa, this house is too big for us and I don't want to clean anymore, I want a smaller home, or Louisa, I need to move out of California, I need to go to Texas, I need to go to Canada, whatever it is. Or you can tell me, Louisa, I hate paying rent. Like, I want to have my own place. Those are problems that we want to solve. So we have a strategic interview process with our buyers or sellers as well, so that we know how to help them. Because if we see, Connie, that you don't need to sell, we're not going to push it just because to fulfill our commission. But we're going to tell you, hey, Connie, you know what? maybe not this time, but you know what? We have a strategy for you so that we can reach your goal for next year or two.
Really a two-way street. You were joking about being a therapist.
Yes,
I like
I'm
that.
not joking.
And I think you just gave us a little insight into that, which made me think about that. So, tell me a little bit more about that side, about the therapist side, and can you dig a little deeper and maybe give a couple examples of that kind of a situation?
Yeah, so I'm not. So unfortunately, I'm not joking. We are a therapist in disguise. So real estate agents, if you guys don't know, we actually wear different hats. We're not just real estate agents. We become therapists. We become CPA. There's one point that I was a maid. I was also a dog walker, a babysitter, whatever it is, name it. That's who we are, right? So you guys are just not paying for the real estate agent part of it, but yeah, so being a therapist, again, like I mentioned, right? Buying or selling a home is a big emotional thing for that client. So whether they're buying their, they're selling their home because they're retiring now, they're letting this home that they've been in for 50 years, right? So now emotions goes through. Same thing a first time home buyer, right? Emotions comes in. And then once we get into that whole transaction, emotions comes in. So we become therapists to really like show them the facts and really like that's the reason why we do our whole strategic interview to find out why, the reason why are we doing this, why do you want to go through this, right? Why do you want to sell this home? It's a beautiful home. Why do you want to purchase your new home, right? So we go through that because they like within the transaction, within the 30 days where that whole transaction happens, everything can fall apart and emotions goes up and down. It's like a roller coaster, right? We have a saying in real estate that if your transaction doesn't make you cry, you're not a real estate agent yet. Like a transaction has to make you cry first, then now you graduate to become a real estate agent. And so for an example of that would be, let's say everything is going well, and then well, let's go for the first contingency, which is the inspection contingency. So you're, as a home seller, you think everything in your home is beautiful, everything is working, whatever, right? And then an inspection happens, then bam, a buyer then asks for $25,000 in credit because AC is broken, roof is old, blah blah blah, whatever it is. And here you are as a seller, like, what are you talking about, right? So here, like, we have to be the mediator, right? We have to put on our therapist hat, a mediator hat, and kind of like go back and forth between the buyer and the seller of what they want to do, right? And then going back to the seller saying like, no, my home is beautiful, nothing is wrong with it, right? And then now they like just want to cancel everything and they don't want to like negotiate. Same thing with the buyer as well. They're like thinking about the money they're putting into it, and they're like, no, I don't want to buy this house if they have all these problems. So that's the reason, that's one, only one of the reasons how we become a therapist in a whole transaction.
Wow. Wow. That's yeah, many hats. Even a dog walker. I love that.
Oh no,
There's
one
definitely
time,
moving
I was
on.
on the floor scrubbing because the sellers didn't have time to clean and we were taking pictures.
Wow. Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Full service, one stop shop.
Yes.
You're talking about transactions, but what you said though, before we came on here was that it's more than transactional when you're doing real estate. It's more building a legacy. And so, can you explain a little bit what you meant by that in terms of the legacy component? What does that mean to you and for you?
So for me, real estate, again, it's really about your legacy. So you will meet some agents that once you like sign that dotted line, right? Bam, okay, I'm done. Thank you. We'll see you maybe in a year or two when you're ready to sell, right? Or same thing once when you have a client that moved over to like another state, that you never really hear another your real estate agent that either sold you your property or help you sell your property, right, or buy your property. So for me, I approach my every client's journey with the mindset that I'm helping protect and grow something deeply personal and lasting, right? Whether I'm listing a property or guiding a first time home buyer, I bring strategy, I bring care, and I bring purpose to every step of the process. So once they buy a house from me, I don't stop the relationship. I've had relationship. I even have one relationship right now with one of my clients, and she bought her first home, and she just got married. And one thing that she told her, and then they bought a property again with me. And one thing that she told her husband was, I've known Louisa longer than I've known you. So that's what I mean in regards to a lasting relationship with the legacy, because to us, your home is just not an investment, it's your legacy. We want to make sure that you know how to protect it, right? In regards to like with all of our partners that can help you protect that number one investment in your life so that you can grow your legacy.
The house is really for a lot of people the biggest thing they'll ever purchase in their life. So it
Yes.
really is where they're putting
Yeah.
everything, right? It
Yes.
it
And
it, it is everything.
it is everything. And you know what's so funny, Connie, is that when you speak to some of these clients, because I've done a home seller seminar where I had my trust lawyer here, my CPA, my ADU, I even have a 1031 exchange, pretty much to help them with, with the home in regards to like, protecting it and everything. And 99.9% of these home sellers, and mind you, we were already here in Calabasas, 99.9% of the sellers didn't know anything about trust, and their home wasn't under a trust. And I was like shocked, right? For a city that's as affluent as this, I would think like, oh, everyone has it, right? But no. So it was, for me, it was good that I re-educated them, and so we were able to help them get through that as well.
I find people are really impatient when they're selling their house.
So we meet, so like I said, right, we put on like different hats because we meet different personalities in our industry, right? And so yeah, so we do get people that are very impatient, right? So we have clients that are like, no, I just want to sell now, I don't care the price. And we're like, no, that's not how we do it, right? We want to make sure that we price it well, we show it well, we do all of this well, right? And then I also have some clients that are like, no, I'm not selling it under this price. And it's like, but the market is not there, right? So we have both and we deal with both. So then we just need to learn how to, again, you know, give them the facts, right? Educate them. And then again, going back to their motivation of like, why are we really doing this? Like, when do you really want to sell or to buy, right? And then we kind of get into like the middle of like, okay, let's talk about it and let's re-strategize if that's the case, if we have to.
Wonderful. I want to go back for a minute to the beginning. You were talking about not every agent will do. Not every agent is the same. There's the 1% versus what is the difference between hiring a real estate agent that charges the percentage that they should be versus a 1% real estate agent? Draw a comparison between the two for us on one versus the other. What are you getting versus not getting
Sure. I
in
mean,
that
I love
in that
that.
case?
That's a great question because general public thinks like, the cheapest is the best, but there's a saying, you get what you pay for, right? So usually when they do what they call a discount agent, right? Sometimes there are some agents that will charge only 1%, but guess what? You're the one who's showing your house. You're the one who's taking the pictures. You're the one that's gonna greet everybody that's there. You're the one who's gonna do an open house as well. Sometimes we might just do like put on a sign, right? We call them like the passive agents. They put a for sale sign and then they do a couple of open house and then they pray to God that they will sell your property. Versus an agent just like myself who will probably charge you probably the premium, but we will do everything, not just prep your home, do your pictures, professional pictures, that is not just like, you know, in your on your iPhone, but professional pictures. We do staging for you or virtual staging for you as well. Again, we have different strategies, right? We partner with where we're partnered up with our concierge program. We also have partners with our different investors. It just all depends on what your needs and wants are. Then we put that together for you. So basically, hiring the premium agent will basically, you don't have to do anything. You just sit back and you just relax and you just trust them that they're going to sell this in the time frame that they told you they will, in the amount that you will, as long as you trust them.
I love that. You get what you pay for all the time, right?
Yeah.
Like it's not so what I hear you saying is it really comes down to what level of work do you want to do in selling your house. If you want to be hands off, you're going to get that premium service. And you talked about a concierge service, which I really want to know more about. So I'm going to ask you about that in a little bit. I'll put a pin in that. And if they want to do it all themselves, then that's where the 1% comes in. But most people, we hire an agent to sell our properties because I don't want to do the work.
Right.
So
And the liability.
we don't get that for free.
Right. And the liability, I forgot to say, like, you know, most of 1%, I've dealt with a 1%er agent. And I could not, in regards to your transactions, you know, your contracts, right? These are legal contracts, guys. So it's like it's really important that the other agent on the other side knows what the heck they're doing to protect you. So yeah, I've worked with an agent that's a discount agent, and I'm like, who am I talking to now? In, you know, every single day when I'm asking about the contract, it's like a different agent, and none of them knows what's going on. They were not on the same page, right? And so it's really frustrating. And if I'm frustrated as an agent, I mean, I could just see how frustrated the client is if they have hired this agent. And it was just it was shocking to me that the client, the owner, was the one who opened the door. They were asking questions. You could not even reach out to the agent to ask questions about the property. You have to talk to the owner. So it's like, so why did you have to hire someone? Right?
Yeah, right? I agree. So talking about the legal stuff, there is a lot of legal stuff because you're changing
Yeah.
ownership of a property. It is a big deal.
Yeah.
What's the downfalls of getting the paperwork wrong? Because I know some people sell their houses themselves. If you mess up the paperwork on the legal side, what are some of the real downfalls of messing that up? What have you
Oh
seen?
my. One, well, the number one thing is you're gonna get sued. And not just, you know, like not just your client, but you as the agent and your broker. So everyone, you know, will be affected to it if you don't get all the paperwork done, or if you don't follow the rules, or if you do something shady in that contract. Like everyone is affected, you know. And for me, like, you work your butt off for to get your license, and you don't want anything on your license to show that, like, oh, okay, you've gotten sued or you got reprimanded from your board. Like, it's not worth it.
Wow, so up into including getting sued
Yeah.
if it goes wrong. Yeah.
And
Wow,
they can sue you
that
for
is
like,
pretty dire.
yeah, and they can sue you for like, even if the transaction's been done for like the next 3 years. So you just better make sure that the agent that you hire, that's their I's and crosses their T's.
Mhm. Yeah, yeah, I hear that. So you've been in real estate for 10 years.
Yes.
You're
It
very
doesn't look like
knowledgeable.
it,
I
but
can tell you
I
that. Sorry?
I said it doesn't look like it, but I have. I started when I was one.
Wonderful. Well, you're very definitely knowledgeable in it. So, I was just wondering what got you into real estate, what keeps you there, what drives your passion when it comes to your business?
Yeah, sure. So I got into real estate because I got into that whole thing that, like, oh, if you get into real estate, you'll make a lot of money and you'll spend a lot of time, right? Flexible hours. Then I really got into real estate, and it was not that. But I do love working with my clients. I do love the fact that I could help them through real estate. I mean, when I first heard about real estate, I thought it was just selling homes, right? That was it. Like, oh, I'll just open the door and sell homes. But it was more than that. So I really love the fact that I can help my clients at the same time, help them with their legacy, and then also help me with my legacy, right? Because with the money that I'm making, then I can teach my kids everything that I have learned in real estate, whether it's about my business, it's about saving money, it's about investments. I am like teaching them all of that at the same time, helping my clients to do the same as well. So, like, I love it because I'm also a mentor and a coach. Not only that I can help my clients who to buy and sell, I also help my agents as well. So it's kind of like newly licensed agents that doesn't know anything, then all of a sudden you see them become one of the top agents. It's like, having a child, like going off to college. Like, it makes me really happy, like helping both sides.
You are a coach. I was actually just thinking that we needed to have that conversation. For people watching this that want to be a real estate agent, and I know we're talking to people who are buyers and sellers, somebody that wants to get into the industry, where do they start, and how do you nurture them through that process?
So basically we do trainings as well. So it's the same thing, right? So I teach them about the contracts. I teach them about like the do's and don'ts of what to do. But again, it's more than that as well. It's like having a mentee or coaching an agent is also putting on my therapist hat, right? Because they come in here thinking like, oh, it's like HGTV or selling sunset. I'm gonna make millions of dollars. This is an easy peasy job. No, it's not. So I tell them right away, this is not something that, if you're not passionate about it, you won't want to wake up every morning, because being a real estate agent is really hard. We're jobless, right? We're unemployed every single morning we wake up if we don't have a transaction, or if we don't have anybody. And it's up to us to go out and find a transaction. It's up to us to find a job, because we're the CEOs, we're the janitors, we're the salespeople, we're the marketers, we're like front desk people of our business, because this is unfortunately is a business. It's a self-employed business. So we pay by commission. So yeah, so they go into a roller coaster ride. And so I always have to put on my therapist hat, and I'm like, ooh, I could be a doctor. But yeah, I mean, but anybody who would love to help other people reach their goals should get into real estate. Like, you shouldn't get into real estate just because of the money, not because of the commission.
Right. It's definitely a journey.
Mm-hmm.
It's not a quick cash grab at
No,
all,
it's
by
not.
everything that you've told us so far today.
No, it's not. I wish it was.
So if people are thinking about getting into real estate, they're not sure if it's for them. Is it a good idea for them to maybe talk to a real estate agent first and do some research before they invest? Because there's a lot of time invested in getting the license. Is
Yes,
that
and
right?
money. Yes. Oh, yes, for sure. So in our office, we actually invite, even if you're not licensed yet, to come in, check out the training, check out what we talk about. You can also shadow an agent of what they really do, right? And then see if it's something that you want before you invest in that time and the money, because it is a lot of time and money, especially once
Yeah.
you become licensed. Like, they won't give it to you for free.
Where are you? Where are you located? And do you do online and in person? Things have changed since COVID, if I dare say that word. Let us know a little bit about your company in case people do want to be mentored and come see what you have to offer.
Sure. Yeah. So I am located in Calabasas, Los Angeles, but we do have different offices as well. I am with Keller Williams, Calabasas, and we do offer online services as well. So we can, like what Connie said, ever since 2020 when COVID hits, like everything is virtual, right? So we can meet you virtually. We can do listing presentation virtually and also via presentation. We can also do showing houses, virtual open houses as well, because that's what we did in 2020. But there will be one point in one time in our transaction that we will need to meet you in person. But yes, virtual also is available for us, for you.
Wonderful. I want to talk back. You touched on, mentioned your concierge service. I'd like to circle back to that now. What is your concierge service, and what else do you guys do at your agency? Because there's other agencies out there. What makes you unique and special that you offer as an experience that nobody else does?
Sure. So we love our concierge service program because you know that there's going to be a lot of especially baby boomers right now, right? They've owned their homes for a long time and they haven't updated it, but they also don't have the funds to update it, but they want to sell to the highest price. So our concierge program that we're the only ones who actually offer it is that we have partners that we can go ahead and remodel the home out of um, it doesn't have to be out of your pocket right now. We can do it at the close of escrow. But it doesn't mean that we're going to change everything. The owner of the property can still have some say. We can tell them, again, it's all about the strategy. We change anything that we think will give a boost of your pricing once it goes live in the market. And then again, then we can sell it at a higher price, and then we take that cost out of your net after you close, so you don't have to worry about it right now as well. And then the other program that we do is that we have a lot of sellers that, you know what, just sell it. I don't, I'm in a rush or whatever. So sometimes, and they don't want to do any of that concierge, right? They want to sell it as is. I don't want to remodel nothing. And so we also have a bunch of investors that we're connected with that they're already been pre-approved and vetted for. And as soon as we show your property, any of these thousands of investors can go ahead and bid for you.
Wow, that's a lot of extra work that you do for sure to
Yeah.
make sure that they get the biggest return on their investment, especially like you said, the baby boomers, they've lived there forever, they raised their family there. Maybe the building's a little bit tired
Yes.
and they don't know what to do.
No, they don't.
So,
Yeah. No, so we've helped a lot of clients that way as well, and then to get their to maximize their price. So which is good.
good, good. Do you do strictly real estate? Do you do some business selling as well? What's your passion in that?
So my passion is really residential real estate, but I do a little bit about commercial as well. But like my heart really is in the residential part because I believe in the American dream, right? Like pursuing that and buying your first home. It's just amazing to see my clients getting that done, whether they're my first time home buyers or even my retirees or even in the middle when their family is growing and they call me and they're like, okay, we're having a baby, we need a bigger space. So any of those life events, it's like, to me, I love helping them once they see that here's the keys, like here's you sign your escrow, we're closed, like that's my passion, honestly, is the residential. It is kind of crazy, right? Definitely harder than commercial, but I think because it is hard, so it's more blessings and it's more pleasurable to me.
Yeah, yeah, I can see that. I remember when I bought my first house, that excitement, the adrenaline rush is really quite addicting.
Right, exactly. And then all that pressure, like, oh my gosh, we did it. Like that's how I felt when I first bought mine as well.
Yeah, yeah, it's like finishing a marathon. It really is.
Yeah,
It is.
exactly.
So you were talking about online and being able to like service people all over the place. So if somebody is watching this because the internet is international, can anybody reach out to you? Do you need to, are you just selling and buying in California? Where are you? able to buy and sell and help buyers from? What demographic, what area?
So my license is only in California. However, because I am affiliated with Keller Williams, we're actually international and also around not California, United States as well. So we do have partners. We have partners in Canada, we have partners in Puerto Rico, we also have partners in Brazil or within the United States. So yeah, anywhere in the world where the money is, I'm there.
Wonderful. I love it. That's kind of one of the good things that came from our history is that things are so much more global. You have given us so much incredible information. So I want to give you the last word, Louise, as we close out this interview. What last minute advice or words of wisdom do you want to leave the viewer with?
The last word of advice is that remember that real estate agents is not just real estate agents, they are advisors. So make sure that you hire the right one, ask the right questions to make sure that they protect you and only you and not about their pockets.
Perfectly said. Thank you so much. For the people watching this, right by this video, there is a button to click on. Click on it, get in touch with Louisa, talk to her about real estate, or if you're thinking about even becoming an agent, she's got your best interest at heart and she's going to help you out. Thank you so much for your time today, Louisa. It's been an absolute pleasure.
Thank you so much, Connie. You have a good day.
You as well.